How's it going, guys? It's Mr. Lone Wolf, and today I'm going to go and do this mission called Top Secret, where you basically got to go and get like a construction rig semi-trailer from the Northern Aegis map. It's like a special objective trailer, so it's one of the biggies. Yeah, so I mean, there it is, kind of slap bang in the middle of the map. As I said, it's the like a special objective one. So I'm going to kind of cut down there. That's where I unblocked one of the landslides or roadblocks or whatever. And then I found a new little path across like these bits here. You can see my Voron Grad sort of sat there where I just explored it before. And to me, it saves bothering bringing the trailer all round the bottom there because there's plenty of awkward places. And then yeah, once I'm over there, you'll see it's like not too bad of a route driving up to the trailer. And yeah, for this one, brought the Zikz and a goddamn horse, and just generally, every time I drive to Northern Aegis, I bring one of these maintenance trailers with me. I've not refueled yet. I was just curious to see how much fuel it took me to get from. Obviously, I set off from Erska River Garage. Drove sort of the normal way. I've done it in plenty of videos before. Like that's the way I always sort of travel to the gateway to Northern Aegis. And yeah, I think it ended up using like 135 litres, so not too bad. And yeah, the idea was I'll just cut this maintenance trailer loose once I'm at this trailer. So, well, I don't really need to anymore. I mean, there is a fuel station. Like there was a mission I did a little while ago that turned a place kind of in the middle of the map into a fuel station. But to be fair, this has got repair points as well. So, and again, I don't mind. Well, to be honest, I've used that money mod thing on my on normal playthrough. Obviously I don't use mods on, but I don't mind one that just gets money sorted. So yeah, I can't remember, I've got something like 125 million though, so now I really shouldn't ever have to care again about cutting trailers loose, even those bloody login trailers are expensive beasts that they are. As I was coming to this point, you got like that little boggy watery section where I need to go left, and yeah, there's a nice little kind of cut through the trees. A few little kind of bumps and whatever, but it's pretty bloody slow for whatever reason going through that water, so that was a nice little shortcut. This is now where the landslide was, but like I said, it's not been well cleaned really. There's still a load of bloody rocks, and then this will come to fruition a little bit later, but I said it a little while ago, hence why my dolphin is not really stuck but there at the minute, because that lamppost is leaning right over into the road. And like I said, considering we did a mission to clean that road and fix the landslide, I remember saying at the time, partly kind of light-heartedly shall we say though, yeah, that's pretty stupid, like they should move that lamppost. Well, stay tuned. But for the most part, at least it's like there's not really been any death snow or anything like that so far. I'd say here it was like a bit of super snow or whatever, but and as well, touch wood, thankfully, it's not been doing that gearbox thing to me, and not as far as I'm aware. I've been keeping an eye on it. There's obviously various bits of terrain that force you to be in first gear and stay in first gear whether you like it or not. I honestly don't know what happened. Like, I can't see it being a bug just for me that was specific to my game, because it was happening to a lot of trucks on all my playthroughs and all the rest of it, but it may well not have been a bug that everyone got either. It seems to be like, obviously over the last year, people reporting what different bugs they get and stuff. It's all sort of in batches, like there'll be a group of people that will report, you know, a various bug, but the majority of people haven't got that bug, but then there'll be another group of people that get a different bug, and so on. And I've been in some of the groups where, yeah, like I'm having the same bug people are kind of reporting to me. Sometimes I'm not. Like I said, there was one person I ever heard of that, for whatever reason, they don't have a winch menu in their game, so they can only have the stock winch that comes with every vehicle, which is a bit random. And again, that's the one and only person I ever heard. Good luck to him. I hope he got it fixed or whatever. I just said to him, you may as well contact the devs if you can, because I have absolutely no idea. Yeah, this is like this new little cut through that it worked out alright, to be honest. It wasn't too bad getting across there. And this bit's alright, and then there's kind of like, as I get to the other side of here, I mean now it looks best just to go straight forward, and it is, but if I went left there, there's a little patch of like it's basically like super duper death mud between the trees that, yeah, I got pretty stuck there with the Voron Grad. And as you see as I'm driving now, that like other little crossover to the middle island, that's the way I originally went with the Voron. And yeah, that, like between those trees where it looks like a clean path through, it's just insane levels of like death mud and that completely locked me in place. Even when I was using the winch, it was struggling really, like just to get out. Anyway, I ended up winching all the way down to the right to other trees, just trying to zigzag my way out there and all sorts. So I was stuck there for about 5 minutes in only like a tiny little patch of death mud really. And then as you can see, as you go up this road, like this fence has sort of fallen over, but it's fallen that way, which again will become relevant in a little bit. But at least driving this way, you can just kind of like drive through there. It sort of makes life pretty easy. I mean, again, what are we, 6 minutes into the video and I'm already nearly there, so. And I'd never done this road before, other than, as I said, tonight, like half an hour before I started getting the footage for this, I had a Voron Grad that, funnily enough, I did the mission to unlock the fuel station. And yeah, it wasn't too far away, so I just wanted to scout this road I'm on now, basically. And then I found that little crossover. Well, it was more the little crossover of the river I wanted to check out, because I really didn't want to go the long way around, because I remember there was a lot of awkward trees to get through. And as you'll see, the trailer, yeah, it's a special objective trailer, but it's not only it's a biggie and it's heavy, but it's got like these rails running along the side that stick out quite a lot as well. There is some posts and things sticking up on it. I don't, to be honest, off the top of my head, know if they have hitboxes themselves or not. I believe the steps sticking out to the side do. And yeah, just in general, it's really a bit of an awkward sod. I'd probably say in terms of how the trailer is, this trailer's more awkward than that getting that rocket trailer out of there. The rocket trailer was just a dick because it's just an 8 slot and it's like, you know, 200 bloody feet long, and trying to get it around any corners and all the rest of it, and it scrapes. But yeah, this thing's legitimately like just a fat, meaty, heavy, awkward shaped trailer. And yeah, you can see there a pair of goddamn professionals and a Zikz already there checking it out. So we've got plenty of supplies. So yeah, I'm cut that trailer loose now. Those me loafs can have that. But yeah, I got refueled, repaired, all the rest of it. Like, so I'm pretty much brand new again. Possible thumbnail action. I'm not quite decided yet. It's going to be one of these though. And yeah, I'm trying to think. The last time we seen this kind of trailer might have been like this one that we got off Drummond Island, or no, yeah, Drummond Island. Anyway, for the way back, I mean, pretty much doubling back on the way I just came. Yeah, that is where the death mud is. So, and like I said, when you approach from this way, it looks like it makes sense to use that first crossover, go through that section, and then turn up there. But it's not do the way I'll do it on the video coming up. But yeah, like I said, basically just doubling back on myself. It's kind of now though setting off that straight away I could kind of feel like I was almost like, oh, is it doing the gearbox thing to me again? But I don't believe it was, because it's letting me go up the gears at least anyway, so it's not forcing me to jump back to first gear. But yeah, you can just tell this trailer's like a bit of a heavy fat beast. Certainly a lot heavier than, again, I can't remember the name of this trailer, but imagine this trailer but empty. You can buy it from the trailer store. But yeah, clearly with this added, like they've dialed the weight right up on it. It was a bit like with that 8-slot rocket carrier trailer. That weighed more than an empty 8-slot, but it weighed more than an empty 8-slot even when it was empty. Like, once they added the rocket to it, it didn't make any difference. Oh, I don't think it did anyway. So yeah, well, first thing is when you grab the trailer, you start going down the hill. There's a few awkward rocks here. To be fair, it's not the end of the world, because at least there's a load of immovable trees kind of running all the way along the left-hand edge, so you've at least got a chance to winch to stuff. I didn't quite realise though what a pain in the arse this trailer is as well, with its legs that sit really low. It's a trailer I've kind of not used a hell of a lot, to be honest. It's probably that's part of the reason, because I've definitely used it before, but I probably just found out it gets caught a lot. It's not, you know, very useful. And if I'm not mistaken, it's a 5-slot trailer still, which in that case is kind of like, I'd rather take a step deck trailer. I mean, this is essentially a step deck. It's got that little bit at the front that I can and do put the loaf on. But yeah, if I had the choice, I'd rather just have the step deck. It's a much lighter trailer, and its legs sit more flush, and it just, yeah, it's like a sled compared to this. It just sort of skids along if it ends up bottoming out. But yeah, there you go, a couple of winches and pull it around, all the rest of it. I think it was the legs just getting a bit caught on the rocks, but jiggle it around, whatnot. Another nice thing, at least, with this trailer, there is quite a lot of winch points kind of all around it. So generally speaking, you can kind of pull or push it from, yeah, whichever area you want. That's what she said. So I already knew this wall bit would be like a little bit awkward, because like I said, I'd basically just been down here in the Grad to check that crossing was viable. But I mean, you can see there's enough wall that's down so you can easily like get your truck through there. I didn't turn in time, so bit of reverse. Winch cable helps the steering. That didn't know, that was my bad. The reason why I'm aiming for that edge, like again, the truck itself would kind of just bump up the concrete blocks, but the stupid annoying legs on this trailer that just again sit really low and awkward. They're hooked on the wall, and it's one of them where when it's like this kind of situation, no amount of winch power, even if I was pulling like directly sort of in front of me, it's just going to be hooked and it's not going to slip off because of like the way the wall's angled. And I mean, I tried a lot of things in the end. I even tried this where I kind of drove my Zikz up the wall that was like still standing, in theory hoping to just lift me high enough that yeah, and then I'll, like, when I've got the legs past the fallen bits of wall, I'll drop off like I am now. But I dropped off too soon. I didn't really have much choice in the matter. So I got myself back to my wheels. Like, I wasn't too worried about tipping, but yeah, again, it didn't, not quite enough to clear the wall. Needed probably, I don't know, another foot forward or something, not a lot. So in the end, I would just recommend doing this. Detach the trailer, reverse down here a bit, stick a winch on it, tip the thing on its side. I would suggest preferably that side, because obviously, as you can see, there's like a big load of railing that sticks out the other side. Reverse up behind this tree, sort of, well, you can see in relation to the trailer, it's kind of pretty convenient angle, to be fair. Stick a winch to, I think, and then a winch into like the pin that would lock into the saddle. And I'll fast forward this little bit because it was a little fairly slow, but yeah, just sat holding the winch down basically. Trailer slowly wiggled its way towards me. All I needed was those legs past the wall, so I didn't really care that it was like leaning and tipping now, or that it's kind of half sitting on that wall. That's the risk with the 8-wheel vehicles. You get one of those inside wheels caught on something. Flung a panic winch out though, and it's successful. So yeah, reverse back up to the trailer, stick a winch on it just to tip it enough so I can attach trailer, and that's it. And knowing what I know now, if I'd just done that straight away, then I would have ended up being there for, you know, a minute or two. I probably ended up cutting out, I don't know, 5 to 10 max minutes of me faffing around trying to get the bloody trailer legs over that wall somehow. And yeah, now is where, like I said, it looks like, oh, it'd be quite easy to just drive straight forward. But at least as well, there is like enough ice here, it's not really breakable ice. You can do the turn. Looks like it broke a bit there, but I didn't really fall in. That must have been when I was driving on the way. But yeah, so it'll go a bit wide, but the gap's kind of narrow enough that, you know, even if you, as long as you can get across, even if you ended up dragging like the back end of your trailer had to just completely jump the gap, it's kind of gunny by that point. I've got a bit of understeer going on there, so I had to just reverse up a bit. I believe now, yeah, I got a little bit caught, which sort of, as you move the camera around, you can see there's both sides of the rocks, I don't know, sort of stick up like little triangles almost, which is sort of worst case. And obviously being here, there is no trees or anything for winch points. I was hoping to kind of just centre it a bit more and hope the legs would just kind of go through that gap instead, but they're not. So, to attach the trailer again. Stick a winch on it. I just thought I'll grab that side because I'd rather just sort of like the leg that looks like it's getting most hooked if I can send that through the middle. I mean, it worked so well I nearly drove forward and flew into the water. And yeah, it's a handy solution and I recommend it. The only reason I don't like the fact that that's a better solution than if they just sorted the legs and stopped them catching on every single thing going is in real life you're not really going to do that as a solution. Detach the trailer and then put a winch on it and drag the legs like you would, yeah, I don't know, do something. Probably remove the legs worst case. And yeah, once you're over that bit though, again you can sort of jump this gap. You don't need to go like right over there to where it's sort of officially like a little bridge, I suppose. Yeah, there's my Voron in the trees just behind me. And again, it's, well, you'll hear the ice breaking. It might even be breaking, but you're not actually going to fall through. There's obviously like no water or anything underneath. It must just be solid sort of land underneath as well. So even though it is cracking up the ice, it's not, you're not going anywhere. Bit of high gear through it, like that bit of terrain, whatever it was. Like it got a little juicy boost. And yeah, out of all the little sort of cut through sections that kind of run from the road to the beach, I'd say this is actually probably the best because one, it goes pretty straight, which is handy for a big massive trailer. There's not trees crowding the road too much particularly, certainly on like as we're looking at it now, the left side. Yeah, and even though it is kind of a brow of a hill, it wasn't enough to the point where it kept catching the legs or anything. So it was pretty smooth sailing sort of driving down there. And I could have gone further along. I know it's not a beach, but I just sort of refer to it as a beach. Yeah, but I think the ways of cutting back to here, like the road section, are just worse. Even stuff like there, they've not put a load of crap on the inside corner to just keep catching the trailer on. However, speaking of crap to catch the trailer on, so it wasn't letting me jump up the gears there, but I don't know if that was the gearbox issue. Yeah, cause, well, it is letting me jump up the gears now, so that'll do. So, yeah, I'm going to end up coming back to this point where, like I said, there's a lamppost sticking out and all the rest of it. In theory, what it might be best for you guys to do is go off to the left now and kind of go up into the trees, and then it's just kind of like a longer route round. It's the route I used to take, and most of you guys probably did, before I cleared the landslide. I purposely left the dolphin there to kind of like, what I was hoping is I could drive through now, kind of grind the trailer up against the Dolphin, but it would keep the trailer far enough away from this bloody lamppost. Like, long story short, this is exactly why they put the lamppost here, which again is kind of just is annoying in the sense of, I don't know, in real life a broken lamppost leaning over, you would, you know, rip it out the way, knock it out the way, blow it out the way, whatever. Like, it wouldn't be an issue like this. And it's such, again, a bit of like a lazy way to... Well, I would like to go this way, and I took time and effort to clear the landslide. And so far, this is about the only mission that I've had to use this road for since I've cleared the landslide. And then they've put something in the way. And let's be honest, knowing the shape of the trailer and all the rest of it, that's what it's catching on. Thankfully for me, I've got a goddamn professional with me, but imagine if I didn't. So, yeah, sent the loaf in, detached the trailer. There's like a log on the hill just the other side of the trailer. The loaf, yeah, he got his way under the trailer. But again, I imagine if I didn't have this goddamn professional with me, I'd be screwed. I left the loaf under the trailer on purpose, attached the trailer again. And then now, yeah, it's leaning enough to where, as you can see, the lamppost isn't near me. However, now the Zikz hasn't got the guts to kind of pull myself forward. However, some kind of magic, like I said, like Bugs Bunny lifting himself up by his ears or something. Stick a winch to the front of the Zikz, to the front of the loaf, start pulling the loaf. As he starts kind of going around forward, we move. Then as you'll see, the loaf takes one for the team, jumps on his side. See, because he knows he's slippier on his side. It's more efficient. This Dolphin is getting in the way a little bit, not going to lie. However, to be fair, it's offering pretty little resistance. It's pushing it out of the way fairly easily. And yeah, the loaf kind of sat under the side of the trailer and then let the wheels run over him. But that kept the right side of the trailer, sort of left as we're looking at it now, far enough away, because that lamppost, even the bit that sticks out at the top, like the actual light of the lamppost, I reckon the hitbox for it is bigger and it sticks out more or whatever than like what the lamppost would suggest. And it's just another one of those things that once it hooks in, like, no amount of winch force, even if you could edit the game files and add more winch power, I don't think it matters at that point. It's like it just locks in place and that's it. Again, a bit like the Hummers that are stuck in the cliff or whatever. It's just when it's actually like locked like that, there ain't really a lot the winches are going to do about it. But anyway, after that faffing around, we made it. Or we made it past that anyway. So probably starting now is about where the roadblock had been cleared, because that's why that trailer was there from a previous mission. I could have got some fuel from it now. It's not like I forgot as I was driving past it. It was just, to be honest, I was curious myself if between the loaf and the Zikz roof rack and all the rest of it, if I could get this mission done. Yeah, again, this is this little cut through going on the way back, and even considering this trailer is a bit of a big fat beast, it still got around this corner alright, so yeah, it's definitely worth using. It's probably better than the water, other than the fact that it's faster, but the water could end up making you have to take a bit of a tighter angle, like where this might start catching in the bank on the inside and all sorts. When you get to here though, I tried driving to get back to the road as soon as possible in a way, but two bad things. One, I've not got chains, so obviously I'm slipping around on the road, and secondly, because of the light of how steep I've made it go up, I believe the legs are then digging into like that snowbank that's running along the edge of the road. So what you'd be best doing is just kind of, you can head back towards the road, but just make it more of a gradual angle, so you kind of, yeah, bring the trailer up that snowbank a little bit cleaner. that I never tried, but I was just looking now thinking like, I wonder if I put a loaf on top of that trailer sideways, I wonder if its wheels and everything would sit on those rails, or if they'd just kind of phase through or not. I'm pretty certain they wouldn't, because like I said, I'm pretty certain that was catching the lamppost. And I'm pretty sure as well, if I tip the trailer, it does land on those rails, like they don't just phase through and it sits like, acts like it's just a box. Anyway, through that little rock section, which is pretty easy, that one. This one's not too bad either. That wasn't an edit, it was just a little glitch. Yeah, you just kind of have to bump over the rocks though. There is dead trees kind of over to my left, so if I did start to tip and kind of panic winch, and yeah, thankfully they've not really scattered it with too many trees that just sort of pop out of the ground, so you don't have to fire like 8 panic winches out before you finally get something that ain't going to move. And then again, crawling the snowbank because I've got no chained. One nice little hiccup, little tree, but it soon died, as it damn well should. There's one good looking loaf. And they've got their matching paint jobs. One with both white, one for a stealth mission if we're stealing trailers. Don't want to get seen. It's basically a loaf in a ghillie suit. And that, thankfully, is Northern Aegis out of the way. So yeah, on to Erska River. And the place you've got to take the trailer, I think it's called Astronaut Town or something. It's like in the bottom right-hand corner as I've got the map. So I'm going to go down to the bottom, across kind of the beach, up onto the road, and then yeah, down to this Astronaut Town. That's where the UFO is, kind of around there. So we'll get to have a quick look at that again. But thankfully, the drive doesn't look too bad. Again though, it takes a bit to build the speed up with a trailer. It's definitely a fat old thing to be towing around. I don't really know because I didn't get to try it with a P16 or anything, but I was curious if it's heavier than the same looking trailer that we sort of had yonks ago on the base game. Yeah, go nice and wide on that corner. To be fair, after driving the 8 slot that I've had to drove for doing those block alpha, block beta, and getting that trailer off Northern Aegis, I almost overcompensating going wide with this trailer. Like, it's best to go a little bit wide, but yeah, it is kind of a 5 slot, not an 8 slot, so don't have to go too crazy with it. I was just trying now, what's that? Typical that it glitches. High-low and medium-low, to be honest, there was a little bit more wheel spin in high-low. Speed-wise didn't seem to make 0 difference. So, I don't know, it doesn't really matter either way. I'd probably leave it in high-low. The only reason why is because even though you bleed in a little bit of speed with wheel spin, when it comes to like chunks of ice, or if there was a dead tree under there or something, a bit more speed to kind of send that under the wheel is sometimes a bit better. The same when you're like climbing barriers as well, those roadside barriers. Sort of enough speed that you bite your way up it is sort of almost as important as the having enough grip to get up them in the first place. Again, another trailer there, one of many free range trailers I've scattered around, but I'm going to risk it. I have faith in my loaf. He's a goddamn professional, he's not let me down yet. Still got his 100% rescue record and everything. So jumping down this little ledge, I already knew straight away what was going to happen, and I knew what my solution to it was going to be. If I'm not mistaken, I came this same way with the 8 slot trailer, and I believe I ended up doing the same thing as well. So disconnect the trailer. Stick a winch on it, and that's all I needed to do, was just get those legs over that rock, and after that everything beyond them is just kind of going to skate and skid along the rocks. There's not really anything else to get hooked. Attach it again, and we're good to go. And yeah, I always preferably try and return to this section. This is basically the way I drove to Northern Aegis for the start of this mission. But yeah, if you can get down to here, I mean, it's just a nice chunk of the section, chunk of the map that, yeah, other than little ice chunks and that, a few little rocks coming up here, but it's pretty smooth sailing. Saves on a bit of fuel as well, because you've got pretty decent speed going and you're not really nailing the fuel either. Few rocks there, but nothing special. I always do keep a little bit of distance though, more because, as you've seen on a few of my videos, the ice can like literally fire out the floor and fire you up in the air, so always keep a little bit of distance from the edge. Then as you're going up here, I mean, I swung right there because I wanted to avoid those rocks because I got beached on them last time, but I could drive on my own power to this point. I flung a winch out to that telegraph pole, or lamp post, and it started to tip me a bit there, so anyway, I cut ahead just 10 seconds. I couldn't quite reach that lamp post next to the bridge anymore, so that's why I just reversed and sort of turned a bit. Got it that time, and then didn't really hoover it in so much at first, just sort of used it as a, yeah, kind of swing off it like a pendulum, sort of helps drive up the hill, but keep me heading over that way. When I got to here though, start hoovering the winch in as I'm trying to drive towards it. See, again, the legs of the trailer are kind of hooked on this rock, but so I'll keep hoovering it in, keep going, and yeah, eventually it just kind of forced levered it up and over. Like the whole back end of the trailer's kind of floating now, but obviously the Zikz is heavier than the back of the trailer, so instead of it trying to seesaw me in the air, I'm seesawing it in the air. And yeah, I faffed around for a little bit here trying to do this. As I was pulling the winch cable, it was kind of very slowly rotating the trailer around, but obviously not as much as I was wanting it to do. Did a few little reverses trying to sort of do that, basically try and knock the trailer around. Again, it just kind of gets hooked. I believe that little concrete post, which is like at the bottom of the lamp post, it's that hooks in a lot more than the just the post itself. So in the end, I just reversed further down the road, stuck a winch on this lamp post just to pull me over that way a little bit. But yeah, just to essentially get the back end of the trailer kind of a bit more round. Or just get the back end of the trailer, I suppose, a bit further away from the bridge, so that when it starts to rotate back round like it does now, I'm at a bit of a better angle. I did cock it up there and kind of oversteer. But yeah, there's enough now that I can fight the kind of grip that concrete post has on it, and we're good to go. And yeah, given all the other options anyway, to get from, say, Erskine River to this point, the Northern Aegis Gateway, shall I say, to this point, I certainly think that route I just took is, yeah, pretty easy going. And then yeah, going up here to apparently Astronaut Town. I only say it because I always thought the little settlement thing in the middle of Chimcharuski, I don't know why, I just assumed that would be Astronaut Town. But apparently not. Or this. I mean, technically it's not even this little place. It's like a factory up in the corner. High gear through there though, I don't think it was quite letting me get up into 5th out of 5th. Maybe it would, I don't know, but like I said, this trailer is a fat juicy beast, so if I can stay in high gear I'm pretty happy with that. It's already managed to beach. That is the nice thing though, at least there is quite a lot of winch points on the trailer. Beached again though. Probably thinking about beaching again. I think it was. Getting a bit low on fuel. I've already used the fuel from the Lo4f as well. Well, I've used his fuel tank fuel, but he is a goddamn horse, and he knows what he's doing. So he's still got his roof rack, so I'm not worried about fuel at all. I was just kind of curious to see if I could make it without having to stop and grab the fuel out of his roof rack, because like I said, I can't just transfer the roof rack fuel now while I'm in the Zikz. What I'll have to do is unpack the Lo4f, change to the Lo4f, and then yeah, do it that way. Which, well, still better than driving a truck all the way from the garage or something to come and refuel me, so I'll take it. Well, I mean, again, as usual, without a goddamn professional, I wouldn't even be here, because that lamppost, I could see that they wanted me to reverse and go the other way, but out of stubbornness and the fact that it's such a crappy way again to like hinder, because what I don't like is that I planned and chose my route, and especially the fact that I did that landslide to unblock that road is kind of my reward, should be that I can now have that road as an option. And the fact that some dev has just stuck a lamppost across there to take that option away is like, you didn't pay 60 quid for the game, dickhead. I did. Like, I'll choose which road I go down. Now some guy has just decided, well, he thought he did. He didn't bank on the goddamn horse, but somebody tried to make that choice for me. And on this kind of sandbox game, they shouldn't be doing that. Let me choose. Or at least be a less lazy thing than a lamppost. £4 as well, I mean, these missions are getting greedier and stingier and all sorts. £4 is horrifically terrible. Should be more like 20 at least, I would have thought. So anyway, you can see the UFO bit in the distance. It doesn't show up as well in the day, but if you change to like the evening, it shows up pretty well, or 6 in the morning as well. View from the Lo4f is always better. Anyway, that's about it for today though. I hope you enjoyed, I hope that helps. Thanks for watching, thanks to my Patreon members. Get yourself a Lo4f because he's a goddamn beast, and I'll be back soon.